Hi, welcome to Memory Matters. Today, let us discuss on the types of long-term memory and its examples. Now that we have gone through working memory and the examples, we will now go through the types of long-term memory. The long-term memory is broadly divided into explicit and implicit memory. Explicit memory refers to our conscious, intentional recall of information or experiences. Here's an example of how explicit memory works. Let's say you have a friend who tells you their favorite color is green. Later that day, you consciously recall that information and mention it again in a conversation with your friend. Explicit memory can be further divided into two types: episodic memory and semantic memory. Episodic memory refers to our ability to consciously recall specific personal experiences or events such as a wedding or vacation. Semantic memory, on the other hand, refers to our ability to consciously recall general knowledge and facts such as historical dates or mathematical equations. Other examples of explicit memory might include recalling the lyrics to a song, remembering a recipe, or reciting a poem from memory. Explicit memory is essential for learning, communication, and problem solving, allowing us to consciously recall information and apply it in a variety of contexts. Let us discuss briefly on the types of explicit memory. Episodic memory is needed to recall past events, maybe recent or distant. You use episodic memory when you remember personal experiences, such as what you had for lunch or when you attended a family gathering. These memories often include recalling emotions or feelings. Experiences that cause strong positive or negative feelings are easier to recall many years later. If you are struggling to recall recent memories, such as where you parked the car, you may have a problem with your episodic memory. Here's an example of how episodic memory works. Let's say you remember a family vacation you took to the beach when you were a child. You can recall the sights, sounds, and smells of the beach, the feeling of the sand between your toes, the taste of the ice cream you ate on the boardwalk, and the joy you felt playing in the waves. Episodic memory allows us to remember the details and context of personal experiences in a vivid and sensory rich way. These memories are usually tied to a specific time and place and are encoded with emotional significance, making them more salient and memorable. Other examples of episodic memories might include a significant life event, such as a wedding or graduation, or a traumatic experience, such as a car accident or natural disaster. Episodic memory helps us create a narrative of our lives, connecting the past with the present and shaping our sense of self and identity. Now, let us discuss the second type of explicit memory, that is semantic memory. You use this to remember the meanings of words or remember facts. You also use it to remember familiar faces or objects. This knowledge is not directly tied to any personal experience. For example, you may just know that a plate is for holding food or that a phone is used to talk to people far away. If you have a problem with your semantic memory, you may have difficulty finding the right words when you are talking to someone. Example for semantic memory refers to our knowledge of facts, concepts, and general knowledge about the world that is not tied to a specific personal experience. Here's an example of how semantic memory works. Let's say you know that the capital of France is Paris. You have learned this fact through education or exposure to the information, but you don't have a personal experience tied to it. Semantic memory allows us to store and retrieve general knowledge about the world, such as vocabulary, math skills, historical facts, and scientific principles. It also includes social norms and culture, such as how to greet someone or what is considered polite behavior in different contexts. Other examples of semantic memory might include knowing that a tomato is a fruit or that water is made up of hydrogen and oxygen atoms. Semantic memory helps us understand and navigate the world around us, communicate with others, and engage in problem solving and critical thinking. Implicit memory, the second type of long-term memory, refers to our ability to unconsciously or automatically remember information or experiences. Here's an example of how implicit memory works. Let's say you learned how to ride a bicycle as a child. Years later, you decide to go for a bicycle ride without consciously thinking about how to balance or pedal. Implicit memory can manifest in a variety of ways, such as muscle memory, habituation, and classical conditioning. For example, you might automatically know how to tie your shoes or play a musical instrument without consciously thinking about each step or note. You might also become desensitized to a loud noise after hearing it repeatedly. Other examples of implicit memory might include driving a familiar route without conscious attention to each turn, recognizing a face without remembering where you met the person before, or finishing someone's sentence without realizing you knew the words. Implicit memory is essential for everyday life, allowing us to perform routine tasks efficiently and effectively without conscious effort. It is also critical for emotional processing and learning, allowing us to react and respond to stimuli based on past experiences without conscious deliberation. Now, let's see another type of memory, prospective memory. You use this to remember appointments, dates, or events that are due to happen in the future. If you have a problem with your prospective memory, you may forget to do something at a particular time, or may even forget that you had planned something, such as visiting a friend. Here's an example of how prospective memory works. Let's say you have a dentist appointment next week. You set a reminder on your phone to make sure you don't forget. When the reminder goes off, you remember to leave work on time, drive to the dentist's office, and check in for your appointment. Prospective memory can be further divided into event based and time based prospective memory. In the above example, visiting a dentist, the prospective memory was time based, meaning you had to remember to perform the action at a specific time, that is, the time of the appointment. Event based prospective memory, on the other hand, involves remembering to perform an action in response to a specific event or cue. For example, remembering to pick up milk from the store on your way home from work when you pass the grocery store. Other examples of prospective memory might include remembering to take medication at a certain time each day, remembering to bring a file to a meeting, or remembering to buy a birthday gift for a friend before their birthday. Prospective memory is essential for everyday life, allowing us to plan and execute tasks efficiently and effectively. Finally, to conclude, without prospective memory, we might forget important appointments, tasks, and obligations which could have significant consequences. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe.